Okay, just get yourself ready. Have a blanket over your usual mat. Have a bolster underneath your knees. Have a couple of blocks for underneath your feet. Have a folded blanket for underneath your head. If you feel like you might be chilly, we kind of get into that kind of slightly autumnal feeling right now, which I always really like actually. It's a nice kind of comforting time of year, I think. Then have a blanket to cover yourself over with. Just come down onto the floor and just move equipment out of the way. Allow yourself to just relax into the floor. Cover your eyes if it's bright in the room. And then just give yourself permission to release. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations, listening to the sound of the breath. Allow the body to enjoy the sensation of connection to the ground, and the quietness of the breath. Allow the body to sink into the ground. Let the body become heavy. Unhook the muscles of your arms and your legs. Allow yourself to sink. Observe where the body connects to the ground, where it connects to the bolster and to the blocks and to the blanket. Mentally scan the body for areas of tension and push your out breath into any areas of tension that you might discover. Draw your attention into the feet, into the sole of the foot, into the skin and the muscle and the bone in the sole of the feet. Draw your attention to the flesh and the muscle and the skin of the underside of the foot, and then consciously relax the underside of the foot. Relaxing the sole of the foot, letting the muscles soften. Draw your attention into the top of your feet. Draw your attention into the tops of the feet, into the skin and the muscle and the bone, and consciously relax the top of the foot. And relax the top of the foot. Just feel that you can consciously relax the sole of the foot. Draw your consciousness into your shins and allow the shins to soften. Draw your attention into the shins and into the kneecaps and into the thighs. Allow the fronts of the shins and the fronts of the knees and the fronts of the thighs to sink into the bolster and into the blocks, letting the legs completely relax into the floor. Relax the legs into the bolster and the floor and the blocks. And draw your attention into the abdomen and into the ribs. And consciously relax the abdomen and the lower ribs and the upper ribs, just feeling the ribs expand with the in-breath and relax with the out-breath. Relax the shoulders and the abdomen into the floor. Draw your focus in towards the arms. Relax the rib cage and the abdomen. Soften your shoulders and the upper arms and the forearms and the palms and the fingers. Relax the arms and the hands into the floor. Soften around the shoulders and the neck and the forehead and around the cheekbones and around the mouth. Just allow your skin to soften. Just allowing the body to completely release into the floor. Just allow the body to completely relax into the floor. Just enjoy the feeling of complete release, using the straight line of the floor to aid that conscious delivery. Ready to disturb yourself, just very gently release your toes, wiggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. Just uncover your eyes for a moment, just roll onto your right side. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position and just sit with the legs in, cross legs for a moment, just observing your energy. So we're going to do the supported child's pose. So have a couple of bolsters. If you've got them, then use two. If you haven't, then just use one. If you've only got one bolster, then you can put a couple of blocks like that and then put your bolster on top of there. You can make it even higher if you've got more cushions and bolsters. If you've got two bolsters, have one on top of the other, and then perhaps have a blanket over the top of that as well, just to give you a really good landing. Have the bolster between your knees, lift up into the chest, and then lengthen yourself along the bolster, and then let the shoulders just hang down to the floor. So let the shoulders round a little, let the elbows hang down to the floor. If your arms aren't wide enough, if your arms reach the floor, then bring them a little wider apart so that you're not supporting your weight with your hands. So as you know, as we progress into the sequence, I'll speak less and less. So I'll just let you just relax into quietness. So resting your head on one side, just lift your head and bring your head over to the other side. Let the body drape over the bolster, let the body completely yield to gravity. Swap the head onto the other side, just stretching out the neck evenly. Pick your head up and then just turn your head again, just resting on the other side, just giving yourself an even, gentle massage in the neck. And then push your hands into the floor and then sit back on your heels. Just sit back on your heels. Just enjoy that sensation of openness around the shoulders. And then we're just going to move the bolsters out of the way. It's going to come directly onto the floor, but just in the half frog. So this is really calm, gentle. Just lay on your front, create a little pillow for your head, and then you're going to rest your head on one side and then bend out the right knee. Bend the right knee out, keep the left leg straight, and rest your head so that your chin is pointing in the same direction as the bent knee. And then allow yourself to just mold into the floor. So it will feel really light, really gentle, but staying in this position Actually challenges open the hips. Just pick up the head, just straighten out your bent knee, and then just bend out the other knee. Rest your head on the other side. Just resting your um, head on your hands, and then release into the floor. So it's very subtle, but maybe you can feel the openness in the front of the groin that comes from just this gentle half frog pose. So bring that leg back to the centre and then just rest your forehead down on the back of your hands, just resting into the floor, feeling how your back perhaps feels a little more open. Just listen to the breath. So grounding poses help to reset your energy. Just bring your hands underneath your knees, push yourself up into a seated position, and then just sit back on your heels for a moment. Observe how your energy is subtly changed. And then just bring the bolster just long ways. I prefer an oblong bolster if you've got one for this. That's often a little softer. Have a little ramp, a little mini bolster for underneath your shins, and then have a block and a blanket over the block for your head for our restorative surfboard pose. So you just come down onto your front, the bolster, little mini bolster underneath your shins. Have your head free of the end of the bolster, and then rest your forehead on the block. And then just rest your arms into the floor. Just rest your arms into the floor, rest your head into the floor. So this is really nice for stiff shoulders, just allows you to release. If it feels a bit hunched up in your shoulders, then just move your elbows apart a little more, or just bring them towards the body a little more. Just find your comfort position. So while we're in this restorative surfboard pose, you can breathe into the back chest, some just gentle back breathing. So breathe into the upper shoulder blade region, now into the armpits, and then a normal out breath. Then the next in breath, breathe into the middle of the back and out to the lower ribs, and then a normal out breath. And then breathe down into the hips, breathing into the hips and down into the lower back, and then release into the floor. Just circulating around those 3 breaths. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into just sitting back on your heels for a moment. Just observing how your energy has changed. How these grounding poses have just transformed your energy into something fresh and new. And just to finish, we're just going to come down onto our back. Have the bolster underneath your knees, have the blanket underneath your head. And then just allow yourself to gently release into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Allow the body to be heavy, but at the same time light and energized, as though you're full of air. Inside the skin, instead of muscles and bones, is a lightness, an effervescence, and oxygen that feels as though it brings lightness into the limbs, into the toes, into the fingers, and up into the top of the head. And when you're ready to disturb yourself, wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. And then bring your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then roll over onto your right side, stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just a final cross legs with your hands in the masti, a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this evening, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy. The extensions and the quiet and imposes bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek, to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside, and then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And hold on to that feeling of abundance. Release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Tip of the index finger in contact with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom and peacefulness that you can bring into the rest of your evening. And raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel like you've really grounded your energy and you've given yourself good energy to put into your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.